Welcome to Getting Home Sourced with G. Your one-stop shop for all things real estate. Gianno is your go-to guy with over 25 years of experience in the game, serving up the insider scoop on buying, selling, and investing in two of the hottest markets, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Cabo, Mexico. Whether you're looking to score the perfect home, seal the deal on a sale, or dive into the world of international investments, G's got the tips, tricks, and swagger to make it happen. Remember, in Nevada, the smart choice is the right choice. And when it comes to Cabo, you better go oceanside with Cabo G. If you were looking for a quiet, tranquil show about real estate, this ain't it. Gianno has this thing called passion. Let's unleash the beast. This is Welcome to Getting Home Sourced. And now your host, Gianno.
Hey, what do you say? Hey, folks, we got a rockin' show here at Getting Home Sourced, as I'm your host, Gianno. And of course, I have to start out by saying to everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to where you're listening around the world. Thank you so much. And of course, my newbies, my first-timers, just want to say thank you for listening. If this is your first show or first couple of shows, I hope that this is informative for you. You're getting the information, which is great. And of course, my repeat offenders, my family, just thank you so much for tuning in every week and supporting the show. This is what it's all about, folks. It's community on the air. We make it happen. We get it out to the masses. And of course, we just want to get that message out to people. So thank you so much for telling all your friends, family, and whoever that's tuning into the show. Thank you so much for that. And of course, for everybody listening, if you haven't gotten on the newsletter already, please do so. VegasHomesource.com. Get on the newsletter, sign up for that. Of course, you can get a hold of me 24/7, folks, 24/7 with my toll-free G number, 888-528-2810. And if you miss me, you have Miss G to take care of you all the way through. But email, text, voice message, whatever you want to do, we are here for you, folks, 24/7. The show is about the community. It's about everybody. And of course, partnership program. How can I forget that, right? So we have partnership programs that we're launching out now. Back in January, we launched our concierge partnership program for domestic here in the Vegas market. For all those, we're bringing the community together, buyers, sellers, other realtors we're helping out, pushing properties, making it happen. Now we're going with our concierge tax benefits partnership program. As in my show last week, we talked about, well, actually 2 weeks ago, we talked about doing tax benefits, corporations, LLCs, trusts, whether you're international, domestic corporation, wherever you're living, and you want to purchase in Cabo, you want to purchase in Las Vegas or anywhere in the United States or anywhere in Mexico, we have you covered. So definitely take advantage of that. Reach out to me, live the corporate life, basically our proud partners, and we're excited about that. And of course, we have Cabo Partnership Program with the Gadoon Hotel down there, as well as Medino Massage. So we got a lot of things working, folks, for you. I'm busting my booty to make it out there for you. So this way, we're making a difference. We're making it happen. That's what it's all about. But in today's show, I want to talk about the 4Ds of real estate. That's the title of the show. So you say, well, what's 4D? Well, it's more than 3D, no pun intended. But the show today, we're going to cover 4 different items over here, which I think is very important to tackle because it's something that's been kind of under the radar, and I want to bring it to light, which is deflect, distract, deny, and disclose. So obviously, when you hear those words, what's really going on behind the scenes in the real estate world, right? Whether you're international, for my international friends that have real estate companies and agents that work over there. Of course, domestically, we also have Canadian, we have Mexico. So this is important because we have to bring to light what's going on here because we see a lot of deflection, we see a lot of distraction, we see a lot of denial, And more importantly, are people really disclosing what they're supposed to be disclosing, right? And so that's a growing concern because with all the scams, of course, fraud, manipulation, influencers or influencing that is taking place at a rapid rate. So I've seen it with my own eyes, folks, and I've also experienced it in dealing right in front of me with transactions that I go through recently. Not going to name names on that, but just going to say that's why we're talking about the 4Ds today. But these 4Ds are like grade school, right? And they're getting graded what? A D, because it's failure. It's not being professional. It's not getting on top of the situation and being transparent. And this is what bothers me. And like I said, folks, it's street talk, it's real talk. And this is what we bring to the table because, of course, there's always the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everybody's always talking about the good, good, good. Hey, we got to tell it like it is. We call it out like it is. And when I see things going on in my industry that I don't like, we have to talk about it because I want the consumer to be aware. And if you already experienced these situations, then you know what I'm talking about, right? So as consumers, what happens? We pay the price because at the end of the day, why are people being predatory upon the consumer? This has been going on now for years. I get that. But with all the things that have been happening in real estate and, of course, throughout the world in different cities and countries and what have you, again, why are we deflecting? Why are we distracting? Why are we in denial of things when we get caught? Okay. And why are we not disclosing? So that's the whole thing. So I want to get into deflection first, right? So deflecting of issues and deflecting from the actual, let's call it event, which is almost the norm, right? This is what we see right now with real estate in the United States. People deflecting and not revealing the facts, right? So the facts are the economy, okay? This is what we're not talking about. Everybody's deflecting off the fact that the economy in the United States right now is a bit struggling. There's a lot of slowdown. There's a lot of pullback. People are nervous about the unknown. And I get it. A lot of people here are talking about the conflict over in the Middle East. And you know what? Again, my heart goes out to everybody. I know it's a situation, but with real estate, people are just pulling back. We always hear about the not affordable or affordability factor, but deflecting the fact that what's really going on. And this is what's happening. This is why a lot of buyers are getting spooked. They're pulling back. And what happens is that in different cities and states here in the United States, some markets are hot, some markets are not. So right now, as I talked about before with Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States, new home builders slashing prices, again, 25% base number one in the United States and the country. So if anybody wants to buy a new home, no matter where you're living, if you're overseas, my international friends, or Canadian, right, or Mexican, or South American, but more importantly, within the United States, you are getting a deal here in the U.S., especially in Las Vegas, because why? Builders are now having product that is sitting on the market, not moving. And I've been helping them out, folks. So, of course, that's why my concierge partnership program, we're helping the builders get out there. Of course, I'm going to call them out because here's what's going on with them. They're going to start running ads out there, basically saying you don't need a realtor. Just come work with us direct. We'll hook you up. We'll give you the discounts or whatever. And that's not quite true. Okay. That's why I've been preaching. You have to use a realtor no matter what, especially when you're going into a new home builder, because they're not going to share with you their secrets and goodies that I already know when I'm walking into a new home builder, because I know what to expect and I know what the consumer is needing and wanting, but they don't, because they just, again, they walk in. And what's the old saying, folks? If you tell a lie long enough, what happens? It's the truth. So this is why it's important. This is why the deflection of, hey, you don't have to worry about a real estate agent. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. And this is what I'm trying to prevent, folks. It's all about protection, and it's all about what? Asset. Because when you have an asset, you got to protect it, right? And to me, clients, friends, customers, whoever, you're an asset, and you have to be protected, because that's what we are. We have what? We have worth. And a lot of times we don't really see what our self-worth or what our true worth really is, and that gets deflected away because they make it about them, but it's for you, right? And that's not the way it works. So we just have to refill the vaccine. And this is what we're doing right now. So this is what I'm kind of concerned about. So I'm telling people, maybe predatory practice when you're going out there and trying to cut other people out. Why? Because they don't have your best interest, folks. They have the builder's best interest. They want to make a profit. They want to make money. Okay. But they want to do their little spin, and that's fine. But I'm just telling you, folks, wherever you're purchasing property, whether, again, it's in the U.S., Mexico, Canada, Middle East, Europe, whatever, please, if you have a realtor, use them. They know what they're doing, or at least they better know what they're doing. Get the facts from the builder, get in there, make it happen, and make sure that those realtors that are listening, you got to cut those deals for your client. Very, very, very important.
The opposition hit their script and narrative. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Finish, show you how to get.
So we want to make sure that happens. Now, the second one is distract or distracting with all the nonsense, okay, that we see out there, the marketing portals that are trying to manipulate who? The consumer, of course. The online marketing companies, brainwashing, obviously big real estate companies. And then what happens in turn, the consumer gets distracted with all the marketing tactics. And now what happens? We have confusion, okay? Is this premeditated? Is this purposely done? Of course, because at the end of the day, the more that somebody's confused, the more that somebody's going to need help. And what do? They reach out. Again, predatory, which I don't like. This is what I see happening. This is what I want to make everybody aware of. So you know, that's why I said before in past shows, always interview who you're talking to as a realtor. Make sure that they have the knowledge, the understanding, okay, and the capacity, the ability to protect you and take care of you as a buyer when you're going into, let's say, for a new home build, right? Or also if you're selling your home and you're using a big name company, real estate company, okay, be careful of that. But more importantly, folks, as I mentioned before, these online real estate marketing portals are taking your data and they're selling it. They're selling your email, your name, your telephone number. I talked about this before. Now you're getting hit on the computer. You're getting hit on your phone, text messages, and what have you. You're going to start seeing a lot more of this. So it's distraction, okay? They figure that, you know what? They pound you more enough. You're going to go to them and say, okay, fine, I give in, whatever. Don't do it. Be disciplined. Understand the process. This is what I'm trying to share with you. So, and understand what's really the truth, okay? So this is the situation we talk about. And that's what we get into deny, okay? Denial, denying the truth. And why play the blame game? Again, we're all pointing fingers. Everybody's suing each other in the real estate world, right? Compass sues Zillow, class action against Zillow. Then Zillow partners with other big name companies. And then you have all these other real estate companies all piling on, and they're going in their separate corners. But we're denying the facts. Now, here's the thing, folks. All these companies, the big name companies, okay, I'm not going to reel them off, but I think you all have an idea, especially in the U.S. and international, what big name real estate companies are here. And if you don't know, then email me and I'll disclose that to you, right? But I'm not going to do it on the air. So, but the thing is that these companies are trying to hide listings, okay, from the public. And what they want to do is they're doing a disservice for the seller, okay? So they're denying what their real intention is. And in turn, they're making it out like you're getting an exclusive deal as a seller to list your home with them. And then what they do is they hold it for like a week before it goes on the market publicly. So what they could do is either try to middle the deal, okay, so help the seller and the buyer at the same time, dual agency, which is outlawed in most states, probably most countries for that matter. And then also what they do is they're hiding it from the public. So that's really a disservice to the seller, right? And this is what we talk about. So, I mean, my company, luckily, we don't do that, okay? Thank God. And at the end of the day, everything's transparent. My show's transparent. Hey, folks, again, I have the MLS. It's live. Anything that you see, you're going to get. There's nothing hidden. It's all there for you. Unfortunately, when you're a seller, what they want to do is they want to take your property and kind of disclose it later on, right? So we're going to get to that in a second. But that's a denial factor. So this is something with virtual marketing companies. They don't get into the denial portion of saying this is the reason why we're doing it, but we don't want to tell you this because then you're going to get mad at us because now really we're being greedy. So that's a denial section on that one, folks, and we could talk about that later on. If you need more information, of course, you email me, Gianno@VegasHomeSource.com, right? So, and then the last one, disclosure. Why these big real estate companies and big online real estate portals, right, the virtual marketing company, don't disclose the pertinent information. This is why we have lawsuits all over the place that are happening in the U.S. It's ridiculous, okay? It makes the profession look bad, okay? And it's guilt by association. I've been a realtor in the United States for 27 years, okay? And in Mexico now, like I talked about before, 4 years. This is the problem. Now it's guilt by association because, I'm doing my job the best that I can do. But when my profession is getting caught up in nonsense, it's just a bad eye. It's a bad look. And what happens? Now you pile all in. It's like, he's like everybody else. No. And so you have to understand what your value is and what your worth is. But unfortunately, you have to be careful about the disclosure. And this is what I'm disclosing to you, folks. That's why, for me, it's disclosure. I'm telling you what's going on behind the scenes because you have to be prepared of what's going to happen in 2026. And this is what we're going to get into. So, like I said, thankfully, I'm in a position to where I work in Mexico, and knock on wood, we don't have these problems, okay? So for some reason, it's always in the U.S. There always seems to be some type of shenanigans and scams and nonsense that goes on. And then guess what happens? Now all of a sudden you go to court, and now it becomes public record. Now it's out there in the news, and now we look bad. This is what's been going on, folks, in 2024. And it's just now everybody's trying to play the shell game again, distract, deny. Okay, it's nonsense that goes on, the deflection and the non-disclosure. This is really the juice of the show. And that's why the consumer gets soured, whether you're a buyer or a seller. Now they have to be worried about, okay, what's the scam? What kind of games playing is going on? It's a negative thought process. And now you have to kind of walk them off the cliff, because now you have to kind of make sure that they're feeling good about what they're doing. And again, you have to sit there and explain things. It's embarrassing. And again, I've done it already. It's an embarrassing look, but nonetheless, we move forward. We get through it. We tackle those concerns and issues and fear factor. Okay. And then we move forward and we list a property, or I represent the buyer and walk them through the process. And they feel good after the fact, because at least you're being transparent. And that's what it's all about, folks. It's communication. And I talk about this all the time. That's why we have a radio show over here. This is why we communicate. This is why we're family. We engage. I encourage everybody, please, you have questions, you bring them on the air or email them. I'll read them on the air, okay? Contact me. This is the whole thing, because right now, again, as we talked about in past shows, we talked about migration. Everybody in the world is kind of shifting in a different direction, right? A lot of Europeans want to go to Mexico. They want to go to the U.S. A lot of U.S. people want to go to Europe, okay? A lot of Middle East people want to go to South America. Everybody's moving. Everybody is shifting because of whatever reason, okay? But at the end of the day, it's for what? Opportunity. It's for a better way of life. It's just getting out of that rut that we've been in, but fearful of you're going into what I call the undiscovered country. We don't know where we're going. And basically for people, like I just had a client the other day that is looking to relocate into Las Vegas from Los Angeles, but they have no clue about Las Vegas, okay? And they need to buy a property, and they're like anxious. And I told them, hey, guys, you got to take the time, drive the neighborhoods. What's your most important thing? Schooling. Okay, so go check out the schools. You give them a list of schools, look around, do your homework, and you get it set up, and they're happy, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. I mean, again, these online portals, folks, you're going to go on there, you're going to put your information in, you're going to get hammered on by 5, 10, 50, maybe 20 realtors, okay? I'm just being honest. They're out there. They're waiting for you to go online, whether it's Zillow, Redfin, Homes.com, all these portals. You're going to put your name in there, even for my Canadian friends, even for my Mexican friends, what have you. If anybody's looking to purchase in the U.S., these are the portals that will be waiting for you. It's like bees to the honey, okay? So they're the honey jar. The bee flies in, boop, I got you. This is what's going on, folks. So you have to be careful who you're dealing with, but more importantly about your information. That's why I'm going to be honest. I tell people, please, and I've said this before, don't go on those portals. You don't need to. folks, I give you guys free MLS for Las Vegas and Cabo. If you're looking in those markets, it's there for you. It's like you're the realtor. You don't need to give your information to these other online companies. Although they make you think that you have to, you don't. And this is why you go onto my website, okay, vegashomesource.com. You go into the MLS, you check it out. Everything's right there for you. And again, as I said before in past shows, and I'm going to keep saying it, I don't get your information unless you want to give it to me, and unless you want to have a conversation after the fact, or unless you want me to get a more deeper dive into what you're looking for or questions you may have about purchasing property. And folks, if you also need a realtor in another city or another state in the U.S. or what have you, or even in Mexico, hey, this is what we're here for. I have my network. I have people basically all over the place. So again, please don't give your information to these online portals, these online companies. They're all palling around with each other behind the scenes, and it's all about them, and it's not for you. I'm just being honest, and you'll see what I mean down the road when, if somebody wants to put their information in there, this is what's going to happen. And for those that have given, your information to contact me, it's because you're ready to talk to me. You want me to contact you. That's the difference. When you go online, they force you to put your information in before you look at properties. And this is the problem. That's where they grab you. So on that note, let's take a quick commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to jump in because I got some good news for my international friends. So stay tuned.
Are you thinking about investing in Mexico? Not sure how to get started? Well, with Cabo G, he has all the steps in place to get you that vacation property you have been always dreaming about. Call Cabo G today on his new international toll-free number, 888-528-2810. Yes, toll-free. What other realtor do you know that has a toll-free number to call him anywhere in the world? Let your journey to real estate ownership in Mexico start now by going oceanside with Cabo G.
Hey, what do you say? Thank you so much for sticking around for the back half of Getting Home Source, as I'm your host, Gianno. And of course, thank you so much for tuning in. Please tell your friends. We want to grow this show. We want to be big. We want to be strong. We want to have our voice. We want to be heard. And again, is there anything that anybody wants to talk about? And there's topics that I'm missing or topics that you want to hear, please feel free to write in. Just tell me what you want to hear. I don't care if you want to come in as anonymous. That's fine. Just send me a text or email, a voice message. Say, hey, can you please talk about whatever you want to talk about? And I'll put it on the air. I'll get the information and we do it. So that's what I do for you. This is why it's about, the show is about you, really. And it's for you and it's about you. I'm just a messenger and I'm just like a pass-through. I'm transparent. I'm just passing through information through me to explain to everybody out there. So thank you so much for that. Now, for my international friends, to give you the inside truth, real estate, okay, this is important because I know a lot of people thinking like, what's going on in the U.S. and what have you. So the cold, hard facts is that it's cooled off. Okay, I'm going to be honest. A lot of realtors in a lot of different markets pulling back on advertising, not spending the big dollars. They're not seeing people purchase, especially in their own city and states. There's a cool down effect, okay? And what's that? Because maybe a high mortgage rate, which the mortgage rate right now fluctuates, 6%. Let's just say 6%, 6.75, or 6.35, if I could say that. So 6 to 6.35%, okay, mortgage rate. Again, folks, it's still pretty decent considering. No, the market's not going to crash. Again, we have a lot of inventory that's out there. Property prices are coming down. Sellers know that they have to do something, and they're sitting and they're waiting to see what's going to happen. But that's why we talk about single family homes get great deal. Townhouses and condos, it doesn't matter if you're in Florida, LA, New York, what have you, high HOA rates, okay, assessment fees. A lot of insurance companies don't want to go into certain states and cities because it's high insurance. They're losing money. So you have to get that information and know what the best value is and what kind of coverages you're going to get, if any, in different cities and states. So that's important to understand. But for right now, again, it's cool. It's a slowdown. Okay, I'm not going to say it's hotcakes. Again, in certain cities and markets, yeah, for that specific moment, it's hot, you get multiple offers and what have you. But I'm saying overall as a whole, right now, it's cool down. Okay. I'm not saying it's crashing at all. That's not happening. It's just a cool down. But you have to be careful about the advertising and falling into the lead generation traps, because right now, folks, again, for my international friends that may not know, is that Google actually gave realtors and non-realtors as well the browser advertising 4-time match. So let's say if you put up 5,000 US dollars, Google will do a 4-time match, which means that now it's 20,000 US dollars. And so really you're getting 25,000 US dollars of advertising for what? $5,000. And how long is that good for? It's good for however long you want to use it. You want to burn that money fast as a realtor? Great. If you want to space it out monthly, then you do your calculations. But where is this advertising going? It's targeted. It's targeted based upon zip codes that you want to be in. It's targeted about neighborhoods or townships, whatever you want to call it. This is what's happening right now. And I do believe that by the time my show gets out, maybe that promotion's going to end. But at least to let you know, so for my domestic friends that are living here in the continental United States, you're going to start seeing a lot of realtors, maybe a lot of lenders, and of course, new home builders going out there advertising, promoting their marketing campaigns through browsers. So it's going to be on your phone, on your computer, what have you. I just want you guys to be aware of that. And it's going to be on social media platforms as well. So this is what Google did. This is what you're going to see. Now, what happens in that situation? Saturation of the market in that capacity, because it's like all the kids ran for the candy, right? So realtors are like kids, right? They go, somebody raises their hand, hey, I need a realtor. Here's a swath of people that are coming in there saying, hey, I can represent you, right? We talked about that before, but this is what's happening right now. So people that are on Google and doing Google searches and seeing these ads, this is the reason why you're going to start seeing maybe multiple people or the same person multiple times, because this is what they paid for, because that's what Google is offering. So I just want to share that with everybody, because again, between Zillow, between Redfin, between Google taking advantage of realtors by basically selling back their own information that they have. Again, I'm going to be honest, and I don't support Zillow. Okay, I don't support Redfin. I don't support those type of practices. And I could say the National Association of Realtors back 20 years ago sold us down the river. Okay, I'm just, again, being honest and out there, not being angry or mad. Just I'm just giving you the information as to what happened and why these, online marketing platforms just exploded over the years, because of the fact that they allowed the realtor, you diminish what the value is because you just sold everybody out. So now you're making what realtors used to have as private information public. So basically, what does a realtor become? Well, you're still a realtor, okay, because you still have to handle paperwork. You still have to handle the negotiation process. But at the end of the day, as a consumer, look, you're all out there. I'm giving you my MLS. Why? Because I can. It wasn't like that before 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Now it is. So this is what people do. I don't know any other realtor that's giving out dual MLSs in 2 different countries. If you do, folks, let me know, because I've researched that. Not many people at all that I know of. So, but the point is that it's out there. You have to be aware of it. This is what's going on. And what's happening right now is that you have to have value. You have to have ability. This is the most important thing that's going on right now. And you have to get back to the basics. You have to know how to what? Communicate. You have to know the product. If you don't know the product and you don't have the product knowledge, folks, it doesn't matter. And let me tell you something. The scary thing too is that a lot of people using ChatGPT, bad, to write up a marketing campaign, to write up a listing, possibly even write up a contract. I mean, folks, that's a liability situation. If you don't know how to write up a contract and you don't know how to articulate things properly, I mean, that's bad. I don't even want to get into that and what's going to happen down the road, because a lot of people are going to get slapped on the wrist on that one, because what are they doing? They're using a tool per se, and they're making it as they're integrated as their everyday lives. And you see people out there promoting AI and all this other kind of stuff. Folks, you can't get caught up with that. AI is only as a tool. It's not to be driven by. And some people are doing that. So just be careful what you're signing and writing and what have you. Make sure that You want to know that who's really writing this. Is this a, AI situation, or did somebody actually take a boilerplate and just make some changes to it or what have you? Things you have to think about. And it's not just in the US, it's international, folks, because AI is worldwide and it spreads and it gets into every sector of business. It gets into every segment of what we're doing. And people, again, they go to ChatGPT more than they go to Google for search engines, right? This is what people are doing. Just please be careful in what you're looking at, what you're reading at, more importantly, what you are signing. Okay. That's the most important of all. So, again, bringing it back to the realtor, the one precious thing that makes realtors a step ahead is what? Their product knowledge and ability, of course. Okay. And you have to be relevant. And there has to be a need, not reduced to a want. Because, again, with the economy being the way it is in the United States, folks, I mean, seriously, right now, people are kind of a little bit on the edge. I mean, I get it, okay? And it's a domino effect, all right? So, look, big news again for, my international friends that don't know. Okay, Domino's, big pizza chain in the U.S. Obviously, they might be where you are living in the world. Guess what they did? They filed Chapter 11 for bankruptcy protection in the U.S. nationwide. Okay, that never happened to a big chain, and yet here's Domino's trying to protect themselves. Chapter 11. Why? Again, folks, it's the circle of life. Okay, but not only that, you also have Wendy's hamburger locations. Okay, they're closing up to 360 stores nationwide. Pizza Hut. Okay, 300 stores nationwide. Jack in the Box, 200 stores nationwide. Papa John's, over 300 stores nationwide. Arby's and Burger King, over 200. Why? Economic factors, okay, folks? This is what's happening. So when you talk about affordability, who wants to go pay $20 for a fast food burger? I mean, that's just insane. But the cost prices go up, okay? So we talk about inflation and what have you. This is what's happening here within the walls of the United States. So for those that are on the outside or on the other side of the pond, both in Asia or Europe and what have you, South America, wherever, Middle East, wherever, I'm telling you, again, it's ripe for international business to come in, because what's going to happen? Now landlords are going to cut deals with people when all these storefronts start closing. It's empty spaces. We call them empty box space.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic.
So it's empty boxes just sitting there, gray shell. Now what's the landlord going to do? They have to cut deals to get somebody else to take their place, right? Because a lot of these people, they either lease, or they may even own the building, or they own the space, and now they're stuck, and then probably want to wind up selling it, right? And then what are they going to do? Pretty much sell it as a loss, because even in the commercial sector, things are slowing down. So this is what's happening going into 2026. As much as people are probably hearing, America's thriving, everything's great. Yeah, in certain situations, the economy is, because you look at the stock markets and what have you. But on the underbelly, when you're having retail businesses and major national food chains taking a hit, closing the doors. I mean, again, folks, I've been here in Las Vegas. It'll be 35 years in May. Okay. And there's a breakfast place that's been in town here called Egg Works. They have 4 locations. They've been here for 30 years. They're shutting the doors. They're done. Okay. Unbelievable. Now, I know that the breakfast, that segment of retail is very competitive, like pizza and coffee and nail salon. But, again, they're taking a hit. They're closing the doors. White Castle, that came out here probably 10 years ago. They have 4 locations. 2 are closing, okay, here in Las Vegas. And so you have that. Now, again, what does that mean when all these things are starting to take place? For international commercial business, now you could see the flip side. You have international businesses that can actually swoop in and get a killer deal, because what is it? It's capitalism, folks. Let's call it what it is. When somebody else's failures, somebody else's treasure, okay? When somebody else falls on hard times, it's somebody else's capital gain. I mean, I hate to say it, folks. This is what it is. It's all about capitalism and how you get ahead and strategic purchasing, selling, what have you. So now you're listening to what I'm saying. We talked about before, obviously nationwide with, again, residential. We see a lot of defaults, mortgages, people not paying their automobile payment, maybe medical insurance, Okay, mortgage payment. This is what's happening, folks. I mean, these are the big ones that are taking place. And what's the banks doing right now? Nothing. Okay, because they don't have to. They're not going to really work with people too much. And then you start seeing the hedge funds come in, and now cities and states, specifically cities, are now becoming more of what a rental community than an ownership community. So, I mean, look, it's going to get better. We understand that. But if I don't discuss it and I don't talk about it, I mean, how else are you going to know what's going on here? So that's really the underbelly. So for international, this is why I get excited for my international friends, because I know you're looking to come overseas. You're looking to come into the United States, Nevada, of course, asset protection. We talked about the tax benefits partnership program. Okay, this is why here in Nevada, highest asset protection, trusts, LLC, corporations, incorporations. This is what you have to do, folks, especially as an international. You have to lock in with that country, that city, that state, get in their system, and you are dialed in and you get the advantages, okay? You don't want to go off buying as a foreigner. You want to buy as a domestic corporation, even though you're foreign owned, right? Because you own the corporation, but it's still domesticated in that area that you're at. Take advantage of it, okay? So this is why you have the best chances, because listen, right now it's cash is king. It always is, okay, in most areas of the world. So that's why, like, again, the luxury market, when it's in residential, it's still going to cruise along, because at the end of the day, folks, luxury market, high priced homes, big homes, what have you, those people that are paying cash, hey, look, it's economic proof. It doesn't matter if it's an up economy, down economy, whatever. They're still paying because they have the money. They're able to do it, and they're getting the best advantage, and they're getting the best deal because of why? Because it's there, and nobody else is stepping up to the plate to challenge them. So you're not going to have that many multiple offer situations. And this is the reason why, again, with new home builders and even luxury, they're out there blasting emails, and I get them every day, and text messages, okay? So even though you're on the other side saying you don't want to pay us, okay, so you're playing it two ways, folks. So new home builders, if you're listening, you really shouldn't be going out sending me an email, okay? And I'm going to call you guys out. Don't be sending me an email to try to bring clients to you that you're going to compensate me for bringing in a client. However, you'll go behind my back, and then you're out there on Google or LinkedIn and Facebook and what have you. And now you're basically saying, hey, you don't need a realtor. Just deal with us direct and we'll take care of you. This is what you guys are doing. I know it. I've seen it already. So you got to have it, one way. You can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too in this one, because obviously when other realtors find out, why would I want to support you when you're doing things like that? So, I mean, come on, let's be professional. Don't be in denial, distracting, okay, disclosing. You got to let people know if you're going to take care of them, seriously take care of them, because otherwise, this is what I'm talking about. It's identifying and clarifying the deflection, distraction, denial, and disclosure. And folks, watch what people are saying. Watch, you got to hear it, okay? What do they really mean, and what do they really say when they're saying something? These are the things that you have to read between the lines on, and most consumers don't know, right? Because why? We get caught up and distracted with all the nonsense that gets out there and getting hammered on with different opinions and whatever. But are we really talking actual and factual? Because that's what I do. It's actual and factual. I'm just presenting the facts out there. It's actual. It's what's happening. And then you have to take the information I give you accordingly. It's not really opinionated. It's just, this is what's happening. This is what it is, right? It's basically getting home source. This is what we're about. We're giving you the source. We're giving you the information. It's the source of the source. It's there for you. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, so, and for the builders that are listening out there, please just do the right thing with consumers. Don't get them all messed up in the head. And then this is what happens, and what happens, they don't buy. So you're actually hurting yourself in that capacity. But locally, I have good people in the new home build community. So that's why please reach out to me. You are going to get deals here in the Vegas market. That is a guarantee. So you don't have to worry about that. And that's why I promote that, because I've already built up those relationships over the years. So you're going to get covered. But for those looking at the United States, and especially my Canadian friends, okay, because I know a lot of you, you're getting the facts, you're asking questions, and don't be shy. I mean, if you have questions, you got to reach out to me, because, again, I know in Canada it's a bit hard, But a lot of Canadians are making more money by investing in the United States than even investing in their own city and state, right? So this is a problem. So this is why, please get the facts. But more importantly, when you're buying as a Canadian into the U.S., just get a corporation, get something set up, get an LLC, however you want to get it set up. And again, my partnership can get you set up in any single state that you want to be in. Not a problem, because it's not just regimented to Las Vegas. It's anywhere. Okay. So we have that. So now at the end of the day, again, just please, you hear what I'm saying. I know it's a lot of information, but it's really amazing. Like I said, I was just in Cabo, and I got to tell you, real estate is very busy down there. There's not a lot of that nonsense that goes on down there in Cabo at all as compared to what goes on up here in the U.S. It's a complete joke, and I'm pretty disappointed about it. But that's why I talk about it, because you have to know about it, right? So, I mean, that's the way it is. But in Cabo, it's straight business. You're going down there, you're spending money. It's cash market. You can get financing, but like I said, the financing down there is hard money, so you'll be paying a lot more than you would if you're getting a loan in the United States. That's why it's a cash market. It's easy, it's clean, and you're not getting caught up in all that stuff, because again, it's becoming an international city, Los Cabos, but it's still a small, city overall. So now, again, I leave you with this, and I want you guys to understand this point. Does visibility trump ability in today's world? Yes, maybe. I don't know. Okay. I hope not. I mean, at least that's what I hope. But again, ability is key. Okay. And without it, what are you left with? Is content creating. Everybody's out there content creating, folks. And to be open and transparent, as I always am, of course, I'm not on TikTok. I don't think if you try to find me on TikTok, you can't, because I'm not on there. Okay. And I have no reason to go on there. And by no means am I an influencer, okay? I only do videos when it really is important, right? Whether it's personal or if it's business, okay? So like I said, I was just in Cabo. I have stuff. Basically, I did some videos on my personal Facebook page. So you go check me out. You can see what I posted. You'll love it. It's great, okay? Now, eventually, we'll translate that into other platforms. But the main thing is that I'm just a difference maker. That's all I am, folks. And that's all I ever want to be, and a fact finder. I just tell it like it is. Okay. I'm about the disclosure, because why? I give everybody the tools so people have the knowledge and information to make comfortable choices and decisions. Okay. Rather than just going randomly out there on, the web, and then there goes your information floating around. And that's not what we do over here, okay? So that's important, and that's why I just say to all of you, this is what's going on. Just be heads up, and of course, you always have me 24/7 through the phone, text, email. So again, I leave you by saying, be safe, stay tuned. As I mentioned, 2026, the year of reveal, as again, we're an actual show, we're a factual show. Let me say that 3 times facts. Actual, factual, and practical. And next week, we're going to have our spring version of the mailbag show, because again, I have some people really ramping up some great questions. I want to address those. Again, I'm in New York City, folks. So right now, April 2nd through April 10th, if you're in town, please come see me. I'll buy you a pizza, a bagel. You want a knish? We get you knish. You want a hot dog on the hot dog stand? I call them the dirty dogs. Don't worry about it. I'll get you covered. We're in the big city. We're here live. So if you're on the East Coast, please reach out to me. I'm here for you. And again, it really is a family show. So this is what we do. We walk the walk, talk the talk, and that's what we're all about. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Again, New York City, my hometown. We're here. We're going to love it. We're going to enjoy it. And I'm going to have some really good stuff to share with you when I get back. But if you're here, please reach out. Love to meet with you, talk to you. Hey, I got people here connected. That's why I'm here. I have connections that we're meeting with, both commercial and residential. So you don't want to miss out on that stuff. So on that note, take care. God bless, and talk to you next week.
I want to see you out that door, baby. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye. Not gonna be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye.
You have just listened to Getting Home Sourced with your radio host, Gianno Buonaguro. This podcast is a registered trademark and may not be reproduced without the express written consent of VegasHomeSource.com. For additional information about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, call or text Gianno toll-free at 888-528-2810 or visit his website at VegasHomeSource.com. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.